Donald Trump's booty was bouncing up and down Bill Clinton's cock. Um, I feel like that Donald Trump was Bill Clinton's um like side dude. Like anyway, this video is against Donald Trump. So the Republicans want to claim that Donald Trump was an FBI informant on the Epstein's Island. People knew the entire time, ever since like 2018, that Donald Trump was on the Epstein Island. They could have released this at any time. They chose to release it now. All they did was just prove that Donald Trump was on the Epstein's Island. They just proved that Donald Trump was a pedophile and a rapist. That's what they did. Because if he wasn't, then they would have released this way sooner. Um, Also, with the amount of rape charges, rape allegations that Donald Trump has, I think it's easily safe to say, like, these aren't just, he's president, I don't like him, so I'm going to say he fucking raped me. No. When there's like 10 women saying that, that dude's a fucking rapist. Alright? If, 10 people said that they were rape victims of one person, wouldn't you think that that person was a fucking rapist? Yes, the fuck you would. And if you wouldn't, then you're fucking retarded. It's as simple as that. Also, Donald Trump recently allowed for parents to put their kids in conversion therapy if they're gay or lesbian or trans, including electric shock therapy and chemical-induced fucking nausea. What the fuck? Um, they, 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 Republicans are defending this. Like, oh, Donald Trump's not homophobic. He's just doing this because he wants the votes. That's still fucking bad. Do you realize that that's still fucking bad? That's still horrible. He's willing to torture gay kids for votes. That's still fucking bad. I don't think that Trump is a fascist, by the way. I don't think that he's a Nazi, but he is definitely authoritarian. He shut down the government. He said in 2012 that it's the president's fault if he shut down the government. So this is according to his own words. He shut down the government, and so that he could have more power. That's what I think. He also started the January 6th riot. He said that we will march down to the Capitol and we will fight like hell. So he is clearly against democracy. And yes, I know that Kamala Harris was not elected democratically. It's not right when they do it, and it's not right when the Republicans do it either. It's just as bad on both sides. I'm not even a full Democrat. I'm a social Democrat. I'm further to the left than the Democratic Party. I do recognize that the Democrat Party still has done a lot of bad. Like, the Democrat Party did create the KKK in the 1800s. The only reason why I'm a Democrat today is because they're the progressive party. They're the only party that's for the center left. Like, they have all of the social democrats. They have AOC. They have Zoran Mamdani. He's not really a social democrat. He's closer to socialism. But I still like Zoran Mamdani because he's a democratic socialist. So if we don't like it, we can vote him out. Plus, we live in a democracy. He's just the mayor of New York City. He can never be the president. He was born in Uganda. But I do hope that he becomes governor of New York. He'll become a great governor. Anyway, back to the original topic. Oh yeah. Also, Donald Trump opened up. He didn't open them up. He's sending legal, documented immigrants to foreign concentration camps in El Salvador. Fucking concentration camps. And people claim that this guy's not a fucking Nazi. Yes, the fuck he is. No, he's not. He's not a Nazi. You get my point. He's not a Nazi. He's not a fascist. He is an authoritarian. Uh, he is illiberal, which he's against liberalism. Um, Pam Bondi recently said that um, there's a difference between hate speech and free speech. So he's not for free speech. The only reason why we still have free speech is because it goes against the Constitution and it's impossible to make it illegal. That's according to Pam Bondi herself. She said that there's a difference between hate speech and free speech. We should make hate speech illegal, which that's not true at all. I believe in a mix between social democracy and liberalism. I am a full liberal and a full social democrat. I believe in freedom of speech, except for sexual harassment, threats, and targeted hate speech. Like, I want to rape you because you're black. That should be illegal to say, because that is both a threat and targeted hate speech. If you are targeting one specific person, then and you get my point. I believe in full freedom of speech, except for those three exceptions. Um, and any liberal that claims to believe in hate speech is not a true liberal. They are a pretender and a poser. They're just hiding behind the label of liberalism to sound, to feel like that they're a progressive. When in reality, they're a progressive. They're nothing else. They're not a liberal. They're not a social democrat. They're just a progressive. Um, I Clinton. So he he had all he had all the bitches and all the dudes. He had um, Donald Trump sucking his dick while um, Monica Lewinsky was sucking his balls. The basis, like Donald Trump was in a gangbang between Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton. Like Jeffrey Epstein got the ass, Bill Clinton got the mouth, you know. And when they were about to come, they came all over him. I was there. Trust. I was there. Um, anyway, Donald Trump sending documented immigrants to concentration camps makes. Also, by the way, he approves of the far right leader of Japan, a fascist, someone that approves of Japanese imperialists, which approved of Nazis. So she's a fascist. Donald Trump approves of her. So I don't think that Donald Trump's a fascist, but I do think that he is a fascist sympathizer because he also called Hitler a great leader. So I do think he's an authoritarian, but I don't think he's a fascist. I don't think he's a Nazi. I think that he's a fascist sympathizer. Um, Listen, I'm always up to debates. Like, um, I used to have a weekly debate. I'm planning on bringing that back. Um, if people disagree with me, I'm willing to debate them. I actually used to be a full socialist, but I got debated out of it. I used to believe that hate speech should be illegal. I got debated out of it. So I do learn from the debates. So if you disagree with anything I said, you can debate me on my weekly debates. They're on Twitter. Um, I think there's only been like two times where I lost a debate. That debate was on abortion and against communism. I think that Donald Trump is probably the second worst president of the 21st century, but George Bush Jr. is the worst president. That's because he created the NSA, which was um, a government overreach, invasion of privacy. It goes against all the liberal values of the freedom of privacy. It doesn't go against all the liberal values. It just goes against that one. Um, so I think that George Bush Jr. is the worst president also because he invaded Iraq and said that it was because they had weapons of mass destruction. No, the fuck they didn't. You were there for their oil. Completely honest. Um, if the government was honest, uh, he would go up on that stand and say, "We are killing and raping children for oil." Thank you guys for listening. Um, so I do think that George Bush Jr. is a way worse president than Donald Trump. If they were in an election against each other, I'd vote Donald Trump. Like MAGA hat and all. No, it's a bit far. The point I'm trying to make here is that. Oh yeah. By the way, um, name one good Republican president after Dwight D. Eisenhower. Um, Dwight D. Eisenhower was an amazing president. Name one good president after. Name one good Republican president after him, though. We've got Richard Nixon. He invaded the right to privacy. Gerald Ford. He pardoned Richard Nixon and was just as corrupt as him. We got Ronald Reagan, which trickle down economics, Iran Contra. I don't want to get into it. That's for next week's video. We also got George Bush Sr., which is basically Ronald Reagan 2.0. He also went against his promise of no new taxes. George Bush Jr., I already talked about him. Also, George Bush Jr. did like the uh, no student left behind thing. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Like, you're telling me you can graduate with a high school diploma without actually doing the fucking work? What the fuck? This is why we have such a bad education system. I don't know what's number one, but this is the reason why we're not number one anymore. Jimmy Carter ruined it, by the way. I don't like Jimmy Carter. Fuck Jimmy Carter. Um, and there's also Donald Trump, another bad Republican president. So there has never been a good Republican president since 1960. And look at the Democrat presidents after FDR. You got what was his name? It was the guy that nuked Japan. Um, um, it's it's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Any, um, the, the 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 vice president of FDR. Signed NATO. How the fuck do I not know his name? I'm so into American politics. Uh, Fuck. I'm just gonna skip him. You know who I'm talking about. There's John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson. That Lyndon B. Johnson invaded Vietnam, but he also desegregated America and signed the Civil Rights Act. So I mean, there's he he's a good president that did a really bad thing. Um, there's uh, there's Jimmy Carter, which is a bad president. I don't care what anybody says; he's a bad president. Um, there's Bill Clinton. I already talked about him. Fucking pimp he is. Um, uh, yeah, I'm neutral on Bill Clinton. I don't think he's a good president. I don't think he's a bad president. Barack Obama. He's a good president. He signed in um, gay marriage. He put in Obamacare, etc., etc. He ended the housing crisis. Then there's Joe Biden, which is a bad president, the third worst in the 21st century. There's like almost no good president in the 21st century. Um, I look at the list of them. George Bush Jr. Fuck him. Barack Obama, he's good. Donald Trump, fuck him. Joe Biden, fuck him. Like, what the fuck? Why do we have war horny old men in office. This is faggotry. The tree is faggot. Okay? Anyway, thank you for listening to my political rant. Um, the next election will likely be JD Vance versus Kamala Harris. I'll be 18. I'll be old enough to vote. Um, I will vote Kamala Harris. And if it's Gavin Newsom versus JD Vance, I'll vote Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a good governor, by the way. He put in free healthcare for 15 million Californians. I don't want to get into it. I'll get into it in the next week's episode. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye. Subscribe, or else I'll be under your bed and I'll tickle your feet. Okay? No. I'll rip your dick off. Subscribe and like the video. Or else I'll butt fuck your grandma.